All right, so let's begin the show with a very important health insurance update. IRDAI has issued a master circular where it has replaced almost 55 notifications and has given more power to the policy holder. We are talking about a lot of amendments done and a lot of things introduced, especially in relation with the health insurance claim. So just in case you have experienced a longer waiting period after getting discharged from the hospital because your bill was not getting settled, there was no authorization given from the insurance company. So all that needs to stop now. And after getting a signed discharge, you should not be waiting more than 3 hours, or insurance company should not be making a patient wait for more than 3 hours for the authorization, and in special cases the timing is reduced to even 1 hour. So a great development and a very big relief for all the cashless health insurance policy holders. But then let's dive into more details about this. I have with me Shweta Rajani, Head Mutual Funds, Anand Rathi Wealth. Shweta, good evening and welcome to the show. Shweta, in my personal experience, I was hospitalized once and I got the discharge in the morning, okay, but the entire thing got settled only post 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. in the evening. So almost 7 to 8 hours of waiting period, and at that time, you being a patient, you being discharged, are in touch with the health insurance company, their customer call, requesting them to give the authorization and just let me go home. But now it seems this will be all stopping, and not more than 3 hours you will be allowed to wait.
Absolutely, Kavita. What you said as your experience is something that most, family members or patients would have experienced, even though they would have applied for, cashless insurance. But at the time of discharge, you're right. It could end up taking easily 7 to 8 hours. While during this time period, the hospital is submitting all the bills, the required documents. There is a wait time because the insurance company has to approve of all the claims, give the authorization, and then only you are allowed to get discharged. Not only that, in a lot of cases it doesn't end there, because you would have given still some amount of a deposit, right? Because your entire claim process is still going to take a few days, and that deposit money to come back to you could be few days away. So it's welcoming move what IRDA has done, because it now means that one, within 3 hours in a normal case, the insurance company has to authorize the entire documentation and the claim approval has to go through. Not only that, they are also emphasizing that there should be 100% claim, and any claim rejection by the insurance company would, internally need a not a, need, internal explanations and approvals. So it's reducing your time of the discharge process, making it much smoother,
Right,
which is
right.
very much a welcome move, as well
Exactly,
as
a
getting
welcome
more
move.
claim.
Sure, sure. But along with that, there are also special or emergency cases where the timing should not be going more than 1 hour. Is that right, Shweta?
You're absolutely right. So, in case while the treatment was going on, the patient passes away. So, in case of instances like death, they are saying that within an hour's time, the claim process has to be completed, and the body should be handed over to the family member. So, that's the special situation that they've mentioned. So, that's the thing.
So, Shweta, one thing that really, comes on anyone's mind, because, all right, we do have a cashless insurance policy, and now since we have this notification or a mandate or a master circular coming up from the regulator, insurance companies would be working on having that kind of a setup and infrastructure to get this under process. But then, what is the timeline for them to do it? And also, do they really have the infra right now to process all of this within that stipulated time frame?
So, honestly, the infrastructure would need to be improved. The backend technology would have to be improved for them, and the timeline for them is, I would say 2 months. Within 2 months, they have to get all this sorted. So, it needs from a insurance company standpoint. See, even today, you have some AMC, some insurance companies which are able to do it. Some are not. So definitely improvement in technology, improvement in backend processes, team strength all of it would be required to improve from the insurance company to achieve this objective that has been laid out by the IRDA today. That's some effort required in the next 2 months.
Shweta, 55 previous circulars were repealed. Definitely, this discharge one has taken away all the headlines, but then there are few more which are very important as
Yes.
far as your health insurance policies are concerned. So, a few others that you might just want to highlight, especially with regards to the policy holders and their benefit.
Absolutely. So, just coming to the claim itself, one thing is even while the time of application, when you're getting hospitalized, it would we be a random amount that would be approved. So that again, they are saying within 3 hours you have to approve the application so that your entry also becomes smoother. Second, and I would say again a very important point that is mentioned is you get a lot of policy benefits if you've not utilized the claim for few years. So what IRDA is saying is that as a insurer, as the policy holder, you can either look at as an option of getting a discount on your premium for the next few years, or what you can do is have a higher sum insured to your policy. So that's another benefit that they've spoken about, which is very good because beyond a certain age, the premium that you may have to pay for getting a higher insurance cover is something that not everyone will be able to afford it. So with this saying that if you've not utilized your claim for the last 5 years, then you getting this advantage is again a very important and welcome move because more number of a higher claim amount in a future date when required can be used, as well as the premium cost can come down for a lot of people, so affordability goes up. And given the way inflation is going, a hospitalization can easily take away a significant amount of your savings. So again, getting a higher claim amount or a higher insurance cover is something which is most welcoming. So I would say overall, the 3-4 points that they have, which are critical, I think getting it done, combining those 55 different circulars, notifications, and reworking on this is something that works in favor of policyholders
Right,
and little more
right.
effort from the insurance companies.
Sure, sure. And once again, thrust given on, insurers that should be working towards having 100% cashless claim settlement,
Yeah.
and insurers and TPAs to collect necessary documents from the hospital. So all of these things that were already in conversation and the mandates were given, once again, it's been repeated by the regulator. So
That's right.
this covers the insurance part of our show today, and again, having the right kind of insurance and covering yourself with the right kind of life insurance and health insurance is the basic or maybe the first step towards having the right kind of financial portfolio. But then let's move on. And we do have to talk about investments now. And when you talk about investments, the focus will be on having right kind of funds in your portfolio. So I believe, Shweta, you have a list of funds which are not performing. And the categories that we are talking about are large cap, mid cap, small cap, flexi cap, and multi cap. So a list of funds which are not performing and the list of funds that are performing in the same category. So let's start with large cap. So a huge underperformance, especially active large cap as compared to the benchmark. But which are the ones which have been the worst performers, Shweta?
Sure. So, if I just have to give you the best performer, worst performer in the large cap category, Quant Large being the best performer with 50% plus return, and then you have a Mirai Large Cap, which is, at almost half the return of the best performer. So, it's somewhere around 25% return. The return differential variation has been around 25% in that category. Uh, so that's the kind of value destruction that one could have got if you've gotten into the wrong scheme. And I'm just possibly going to take it one step ahead and why that underperformance
Right,
is coming. Uh,
right.
so
So, Shweta, but then in the entire category, how come quant large cap is a outperformer? Because rest of the funds or the ones which are really preferred have been underperforming severely. So, what kind of strategy are we looking at when we talk about quant's large cap fund?
yes, so there are, I'll highlight 2-3 points over here. One is definitely a size advantage that a quant would have. So I'm talking about a 1,000 crore fund versus a 35,000 crore fund. So that helps in the agility of the fund manager to actively manage. Second, large cap as a category, your SEBI says 80% has to be in the top 100 companies. So the leeway that is given to the fund manager is limited to the extent of 20%. So Quant has a very actively managed portfolio. So if you see their churn ratio, it tells you that it's being very, very actively traded as compared to a Mirai. So that's the other reason why you see it becoming an outlier of within that entire category of large cap. Plus, it's also the style biasness that comes in, that 20%, where are you utilizing in terms of your mid and small cap exposure. That can bring in a little kicker, considering that last year has been where large delivered around 25 and small cap was at around 60%. So even having the 3-4% of small cap to your portfolio, which you are allowed, could give you the fillip in your return. So these are, 3-4 reasons why you see quant up there.
Let's move on to our next category. And difficult to find out a non-performer or an underperformer, but then yeah, mid-cap and small cap. Shweta.
Sure. So, first coming to mid cap, I would say here again, you'll see the top performing fund would be a quant mid cap versus a worst performing fund being a PGIM. Here again, if you see the return differential between the best and the worst is somewhere the best performer being at 65 and the worst performer being at somewhere around a 40% return differential. So, roughly that's the kind of differential we are talking about.
So you picked up a mid-cap, underperformer is PGI mid-cap opportunity, and outperformer is quant mid-cap. Why? What is
That's
the
right.
reason behind mid-cap opportunities not performing PGIMs? What's the kind of calls they have taken in terms of sectors?
Yes. So, if I'm talking about PGIM, what really went wrong with their sector selection would be, having consumer defensives in their portfolio, which means, having names like certain FMCG names to their portfolio, which did not work. Utilities. So, here again, power, gas, those kind of names in the portfolio, and telecom to a certain extent is what hit their portfolio hard. I would say from a sector perspective. Second thing that did not work is the style. So, you broadly have a growth style and a value style. PGIM is more growth oriented in nature. And that has not played out. Clearly, it's been a value market, so they missed out on both these aspects, which led to the underperformance relative to the peers.
All right. So I think the same fund house small cap is also underperforming as per your data. And I was actually
Yes.
expecting quant small cap to be an outperformer in the category, Shweta, but then it's Bandhan small cap that you've listed out, huh?
That's right. So the best performing fund in the category has been the Bandhan Small Cap, post being the PGIM year. And here again, if I see PGIM, what would have led to the underperformance is the style bias, value oriented style, which did not work for them.
All right. Okay. So we also have a flexi cap and a multi cap category. So what are the names in a flexi cap?
Sure. Flexi, best performing one here you will see is purely going by returns. It's the BOI Flexi Cap Fund that did phenomenally well. The worst one being the UTI Flexi Cap Fund, which did not perform. Return differential again, best fund at 59%, the worst fund at 23%. So all the categories, what you would have seen is the differential between the best and the worst is almost double.
Are these both flexi cap largely large cap oriented flexi cap?
So while there is a large cap bias, but here again, if you will see, I have UTI, which is almost at roughly 60% of large in the portfolio, and then you have a BOI, which is at a 45% large in the portfolio. So there's a 15% differential. Now 15%, and like I said, between large and mid, the average differential has been to the extent of closer to 30-35%. So that itself somewhere explains the 3-4-5% of an underperformance coming to you because you've not got the market cap call right. And that has led to the differential in a lot of the multi-cap funds, if you see. And here the fund manager had full flexibility. So he could have gone in for a more mid and small in this year.
Okay, quickly one last category and then we'll take a quick break as well because we've got viewer queries also after this. Multicap, Shweta.
Sure. So within the multi-cap category, if I have to give you the names, it's Kotak Multi-Cap, which did phenomenally well, the best fund in the category, and the worst fund in this category was a Tata Multi-Cap. Both are kind of, I would say, newer funds, not even finished 3 years. And here, it's not really the market cap differential because 25, 25, 25 by mandate you have to be in large, mid, small. What I noticed here as what led to one fund versus another not performing is again the style, whether you were growth or a value style. So wherever there was value, like Tata was again playing growth as a style, so it did not work in their favor. Second, common sector exposures where those sectors have not performed, and Tata had an exposure. So, if I have to give you some names here again, utilities, healthcare, defensives, some of those names which they had, and those sectors have not performed. So, that's the reason why you see that as the bottom performing fund.
All right, so that's a report card of all the major categories and the kind of performance the funds have been having. We'll slip into a quick break, but then post that we still have Shweta Rajani with us and she'll be answering our viewer queries and sorting out their financial portfolios live for them after this break.